Tesla could be in trouble now that the world's biggest automakers now have a seat at the electric vehicle table. Hi, Dave here from Wall Street Wire News, talking about a story here on our site. Ford's new take on American muscle is already giving Tesla a run for its money. Now, we've talked a lot about the electric vehicle sector here on our site, looking at a lot of the different electric vehicle startups. I'm thinking of Nikola and Lucid is another one that's coming out. I believe they're going public and should be coming in the second quarter. But these are little bit players, and they don't seem to be a big threat to Tesla because Tesla kind of has a little monopoly on that niche market, if you will, in terms of being more like a boutique automaker. And there are some serious questions of how far Tesla can scale up. But Tesla has certainly been a darling in the stock market. Its share price has just gone up and up and up with massive valuations. But now major automakers are making their own vehicles to directly compete with Tesla. And if there's any indication of things to come, well, it does not look good for Tesla. I'm going to jump into this story here. Ford announced its new Mustang Mach-E crossover all-electric vehicle. But look at right out of the gate as these sales are coming out. According to Morgan Stanley report, Ford only sold a little over 37,000 Mustang Mach-Es, which is not a lot. But Tesla's share of the U.S. electric car market fell 69% in the same month, down 81% from the prior year. And what's more, the Mustang accounted for nearly all of Tesla's market share losses. Now, if you haven't seen this thing is, I think, beautiful. Now, you might say, well, this is not really a traditional Mustang, in terms of classic muscle car look. You really maybe shouldn't call it a Mustang, but I can kind of see Ford's strategy here. Mustang it's a well-known name. It's been around for decades. One of the most sold cars ever. So it has a great brand loyalty to it. And there's a reality that consumers aren't necessarily wanting just what's essentially just a two-seater with maybe you can put a couple of groceries in the back seat, maybe. Not good for adults to sit in the back. People have been wanting vehicles that are slightly taller. This crossover thing has been all the rage over the last couple of years. So I think this thing is great. What's interesting about this car is it comes with a portable charger. It's got a range of about 300 miles, which isn't as good as Tesla. Its acceleration isn't as strong as Tesla, although Mustang is coming out with a GT version, which I believe can go from 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, which I think is plenty for most of us. And even 0 to 60 in 5 seconds is pretty darn good. But it shows, and one of the major things, and we've talked to a special contributor, Rodney Johnson, about this topic in terms of, if you buy a Tesla, what happens when it breaks? Well, this gets solved really easily if you buy a Ford, because there's how many Ford dealers around? I mean, I'm sure everybody has a Ford dealership within 20, 30 miles of them. You just roll it on over to the dealership, comes with a warranty, and they'll fix it for you, as opposed to having to, where are you going to take your Tesla? It becomes a real nightmare for owners. And I think the main shot here is how can Tesla make up for this? Now, Ford is just the only one. We're seeing Volkswagen come out with more. Of course, we know Toyota. Every major car maker is going to start coming up with their own electric vehicle. How can Tesla compete? They're going to have to figure. It doesn't seem like they can possibly ramp up enough cars. They don't have they don't have service centers. So they may just be relegated to where they are now, which is a niche sort of boutique car maker that I mentioned before. And what's the outlook for their growth? It doesn't seem very high to me. And, well, here's a story here. Well, Musk said he thinks it's good, but prototypes are easy. Production is hard. And being cash flow positive is excruciating. Well, that may be true for Tesla, but I'll tell you, Ford is a monster, and they're probably going to figure out much more efficient ways of production and to keep costs down where Tesla struggles. And if you look at, I got a price here if you're curious of how much this thing's cost. So the base model is $43,000. Now, it's not cheap. It's much more expensive than the base model of the gas-powered Mustang. And then the GT version that I mentioned, which can rocket to 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, will come at about $61,000. I mean, that's right now, that's basically the price of a Tesla. So price parity, but I expect that to come down, I think. And as this thing gains more popularity, they figure out maybe it won't be this model, but maybe the next model that Ford comes up with, its updated versions over the coming years. Or if they come up with something else, maybe a Ford Edge electric vehicle, something like that. I don't think they will have quite the same problems that Tesla does in terms of keeping costs down and maintaining positive cash flow. And the money quote here from Steve Wesley on CNBC saying Tesla is not going to be the king of the hill in electric forever. As the article concludes, perhaps with the latest take on American muscle, we're finally seeing the beginning of the end of Tesla's reign. Yeah, it certainly absolutely looks to be the case coming down the line. Unless Tesla maybe can come up with a partnership with another automaker, or maybe they just focus on profitability and stay small. But certainly may not bode well for their stock price in the future. If the future is not up, well then its stock price may come down. I want to know what you think about all this. What do you think of the new Ford Mustang Mach-E? What do you think the future of Tesla is? Go ahead, comment right down below here on our site. Let us know what you think. And if you're checking this out, checking out this video on Facebook, please also comment down below, like this video, share it with your friends. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'd like you to do the same. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.